welcome back to Consumer Vibes. I am so excited to come back on your screens today. It has been an exciting time recounting everything that I was up to while I traveled the world in 45 days, visiting 10 different countries. Yes, I did that. So if you're not caught up yet, you can go catch up on episodes 1 and 2 to understand which countries that I visited and also learn about everything that I was up to in the United Kingdom. For today's episode, we will be talking about France.
It's Consumer Vibes. It's Consumer Vibes. It's Consumer Vibes. It's Consumer Vibes. It's Consumer Vibes.
So, where did we leave things off? All right. Day 5. Okay. Day 5, travel day. This is where I'm leaving the city of London to go to the city of love, Paris. And I am so excited. I wake up super early. My flight was in the AM. I go to the airport, I check in, and then I just chill out at the lounge just before the flight. And let me tell you, I slept throughout the entire flight. You know how I talked about, going out back to back to back, barely sleeping, barely doing this and that, coming home after midnight, 2 a.m., all of those things? Your girl was crashing. So I literally slept the entire flight. I believe it was about a 2-hour flight to Paris, slept through the whole thing. Then when I arrived in France, because of how exhausted I was and I had all these bags that I was traveling with, I literally only wanted to get to my hotel ASAP.
Oof. So after pulling this all the way, I'm finally almost here. Look at that. Look at that. This girl pet CVS. Okay. Normally I have this blankie in my backpack, sectioned up because I used it on the plane and I slept the whole time. I didn't even realize when we took off and when we arrived. So yeah, I just kept it on there. But I've been pulling these 3 luggages this whole time. So finally I'm at hotel Moxie.
And thankfully for most of my travels, my hotel was near the airport. Like the port of entry, that's where I was booking most of my hotel stays because of the convenience, ease of transportation and things like that. So I go to the hotel and at this point, your girl is spent. I am super, super exhausted. I hit the sheets and I sleep. So it was travel and rest. That was it. Next day, I wake up all refreshed, ready to take on the day, and I decided to go to Disneyland. Now I get there and I receive the shock of my life because they told me that I cannot bring my selfie stick in there because it's too big and it could be a weapon. And I'm like, I'm not gonna hit anybody with it. I was just thinking maybe do a little vloggy vlog. And mind you, this is only day 6 of my travel. I am not about to throw it away. They're like, you can throw it away, or you can decide not to come here. Mind you, I've already paid for the ticket and your girl is not somebody that wastes money. Money is very, 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 very important to me. I don't waste money. So I went back to the station. There's a station that takes you right to Disneyland and literally like less than a mile from the station is Disneyland. So I went back there and I really tried to find, somewhere to store it because I'm just thinking maybe they'll have some locker spaces, something where I can leave it behind and come back. I didn't find anything like that. So I ran into this guy and he was so gracious. He walked around the station and he said, you can give it to me, then I will give it back to you once you come out of Disney. Just give me like an hour or 30-minute heads up and then I'll let you have it. I didn't know this guy from anywhere, never met him in my life, but he seemed African. I'm African. I kind of trusted him. He spoke French, so he's probably from a francophone country. Nice guy. I said, okay, sure, I'm just gonna give you my my world, you know, my selfie stick. He took it and I literally took a photo of him. I'm like, can I take a photo of you holding the stick so I can find you? You would think I'm giving him gold, right? So I take a photo of him, he's holding the stick, and I text him, I say, this is me, this is my number, I'll call you, I'll text you when I'm ready. And true to his word, at the end of the day, I called him. He had already left the station, he had gone home because he lived closer, and this man took a train back to give me my my selfie stick. So if you see this guy in Paris, Disneyland, give him his flowers because he's the real MVP of my story. Now back to Disneyland. So I go to Disney, I have my little app on my phone, I'm trying to figure out what to do. And first of all, I went to this place where they were doing a Lilo and Stitch show, and I'm thinking, okay, fine. I stood in line for maybe 30 to 45 minutes to go in, and you know what? If you're a Disneyland enthusiast, tell me what you go do there as an adult, because I can't fathom how exciting this could be, because it sounds very JV, and maybe I did the JV things. I don't know, okay? I'm not purporting anything here, but Lilo and Stitch, and it's like, hey Lilo, hey Stitch. It was the funniest thing ever. Well, you know what? It did give me a chuckle. I chuckled. Then when I thought the show was over and we went to a different side, there was this interactive portion of it, and they did this clip thing, and I'm like, okay, 45 minutes of my time for this, okay. So then I strut along and I go to this other place with the Spider-Man, and I'm thinking, okay, let's see walk one. So they have a lane for people that are traveling by themselves, and then they have like one for like groups and stuff like that. And incidentally, the one for a single entry or whatever was shorter, so I took that. That didn't take long. Then I got on this machine thing. But before we got there, we saw this video thing where it's like kind of talking about Spider-Man. I don't know. Then we go on these cars, you know, it just goes like that. And basically you have other people in the car with you. And then you just go like that. And then you try to, you know, shoot the spiders. I don't know. Can I say this? So we go like pew, 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 pew. And I did not record that because I'm busy doing all of that. So that was very short-lived. It was done, and then I had to come out. And I go to this thing where it's supposed to be this fast racing thing. I guess is a car ride. Apparently it was the best one out there. Wouldn't you believe that literally I stood in line for maybe an hour or so, literally. When it got to my turn, standing in front, that's when they told us that nobody's going because there's an issue with a car. And then I'm like, what? There's an issue with a car? And they're like, we're going to give everybody else a fast pass and you can come back and all of these things. And I'm like, how am I going to come back? There's like very limited rides to do here. Like, I'm going to spend my entire day out here just waiting to be on this ride with the kids and everything. Yeah, I just felt deflated. So at that point, I took the fast pass, all right, but then I decided to go eat, and it is Disneyland. However, I wasn't super excited about the food. I got this little pizza thing, and I think I got a Coca-Cola, and I don't think that I finished the food. And after that, I was just thinking, what else can I do? Everywhere else had longer lines. And I just felt lonely in this big maze of a place. I ended up doing this mushroom thing, you know, they just take you up and drop you down. And there's two things that I want to say. I think that, one, you shouldn't go to Disney by yourself. You shouldn't. Because it's best to experience it with somebody else. And two, I think that coming from the thrill of Thorpe Park, you know, which was literally day 4 of my travel, and in doing Disney day 6, it was a bit of a letdown. So I'm thinking, is the combined experience of the loneliness or just being by myself, feeling like a dot in a huge like world, versus me coming from this thrill and not feeling so much excitement about the rides there. But to each his own. At the same time, I feel like I might want to check out the Disney in America just to kind of give it a second chance, because, and maybe this time I'll go with someone, because I don't want to believe that it's not as fun. I think I see adults there, and I know adults that are really, really obsessed with Disney. So I'm thinking it was something else, extenuating factors, right? So that's why I didn't enjoy it. So when I left Disneyland, then I went to the city of Paris to just kind of go for my cruise. And when I was walking about, I decided to buy a really cute hat, and I loved it. I ended up wearing it different times with my travels. So you're gonna see me pictured in that. The Seine cruise was so peaceful, except a few times when the kids on the boat would scream every time we went under a bridge. I could have sworn we went under maybe 9 bridges, and then we had to go and come back. So you do the math. It was a lot of bridges, and each time they screamed. So maybe you should do a private cruise, but I don't think it would make any difference, because a scream is a scream is a scream. Because if you're screaming, even if you're on a private boat, you will still hear it because of the echo from under the bridge. So hey, it is what it is. But overall, it was a very peaceful boat cruise. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I was very excited to be on it. Then when I got off the boat, I ended up taking some pictures by the Eiffel Tower with the lights on. It was really magical. And it's everything that I could dream of, honestly, as somebody that just loves romance and appreciates the city of love being, Paris. It was just a check on my bucket list, and I just felt very happy. I ended up buying street food before I got on the bus to go home, but I wish I didn't, because it was so messy. And thank goodness I was going home. I was going back to the hotel, so it was all fine, but it was just such a peaceful night. The next day was day 7. Day 7 was also a great day, packed with lots of activities. Day 7 is when I went to Le Train Bleu, which is a restaurant. It's really kind of a bit fancy, very nice. Thank you, Layla, for the recommendation. I enjoyed it. I ordered some food. So that was the first time I was actually sitting down to eat properly. But Le Train Bleu, 10 out of 10. Loved it. That was the first time I was getting sitting down to eat fine dining. Met a beautiful couple sitting next to me, older couple. They were kind of interested in me, wanted to know a little bit about where I'm from, things like that. And it was nice to have, people to chat with. That was great. I did that. And then after I left there, I just kind of walked about a little, was trying to just explore the city. I was on TikTok to kind of see what are some of the things that people do while they're in Paris. And I found this bibliothèque. It was really cute. It was nice. And as I was walking to this library, there's this store where it has these hats. And I go in there and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to buy a hat. And then because it was so warm and I just wanted to protect my face from so much of the sun rays. So then I went in there, and then she was so nice to me. She told me the price, and I literally huggled. I'm like, hey, can I pay this instead? And she said yes. Oh my God. You can take the girl out of Africa, but you can't take the African out of the girl.
Got a good bargain for this. She said 15, I said 10. She said 12, I said 10. Okay?
I got my beautiful hat. I went to the library. I kind of, perused around. It was nice. It was quaint. It was vast in a sense. It was different things. I went to look at the romance section. Some titles did catch my eye, but then if you would remember, I had to pack 3 suitcases. I barely had space. So I didn't make a purchase, but then I made a mental note of certain books that I would be looking up later on to get online. By online, I just mean the online version. I would rather just listen to an Audible versus getting a hard copy book. That's just who I am these days. So I did that. And after the library, it wasn't that far from the Louvre. So I walked over to the Louvre and then I got my pictures with the pyramid thing. It was so lovely. So many tourists were taking photographs and videos and all these things. And I was just one of them. That was really, really nice. Then after that, I took a bus. Then I got off someplace. It was just random because I saw Sephora and I was just thinking, oh, I'm trying to, get my Fenty game on. And when I went, they were closed, but right around the corner was, pardon me, right around the corner was a crepe place. I decided that I wanted to try it. Boy, was it sugary. I love sweet things. That evening, I had booked myself to go to this jazz club to just listen to some jazz music. I do enjoy some good music. And, I was just thinking of a wind down type of thing. So I go there and then they play this like music and it's vibing and I'm just sitting there and I'm just kind of soaking it all in, just soaking it in. And after that was over, I walked out and then I saw a store and I was just thinking maybe I should get some snacks so I can have something to eat, when I'm hungry because I don't have a lot of options at the hotel. So there's a bus that leaves the city of Paris to go straight to the airport. No stops. It's an express bus. It's very clean. It's very luxurious. And you can literally just use your card, your regular card for that. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So that's what I did. And then I went onto the bus. Then I got home, took the air train, then walked up to my hotel. Day 8 was the historic Montmartre tour. So that tour actually was recommended to me by my friend Julian. Thank you, Julian. Quickly, I booked myself a tour to go walk through this artistic soul of Paris. And boy, am I glad that I did that. So there's so much that we did here and I literally had to write notes because this tour is beautiful because you get to learn about the history of Picasso, Mariani, and I might be butchering the names. I am not French. Yeah, I'm not French. So please don't come for me with these pronunciations. But did really great things, like really beautiful things like the Maison Rose. I went there. No, that's the most photographed place. Also did the Sacré-Cœur. I saw that. Then I also went to stand by the Wall of Love. That's where my beautiful profile photo is from. That was from Montmartre. And you get to learn the life of, stories of revolution, resistance, art, and eccentricity from, Van Gogh to Dalida and all of these things. It was so beautiful. I also went to the Place des Têtres. There was also the statue in that area where it's like this woman who didn't have good luck when it came to love. So they made the statue that when you rubbed her breast, then you can fall in love or you can get good fortune with love or whatever. And yeah. So that happened. And at the top of the hill, so when you start the tour, you kind of walk through and weave through the whole city. And it's so rich with art and history. Van Gogh was there. Picasso was there. They tell a story of how one person's heart was broken and they went into their art thing. And then there's this Moulin de la Galette that you can see. There's like so much that you can see. I am literally just going to overwhelm you with so many things for you to just kind of see from my travel, my visit to that place. I really enjoyed it. So as you weave through the city and you go up the hill, there's also a place, whereas I think the Place des Têtres is where like the artists just sit there and they just draw, they just paint. I actually saw someone getting drawn live, so they just had to pose live to get drawn. I didn't do that, but you could do that if you wanted to. And you keep going and you go up on the hill and that's where the church is. But I did not enter the church. I literally just stayed at the outside. During the tour, there was a girl, an African girlie. Hey girl, Nakato. Nakato became friends with me. We became friends with each other. And we decided that we wanted to go, spend some time together, hang out, chit chat, get to know each other, because the night was still young after the tour. So we took, I think we took a train or something, and then we just walked to this place that she had been to the previous day through a meetup. And we just sat there, we drank our mocktails, we enjoyed it, and then after that, we both went home. Meeting Nakato was very refreshing, and after that, I'm like, okay, I've made a friend. However, she was also traveling, and she was actually heading to a different country in a couple nights or so, and I was also going to go somewhere else. I actually was going to travel day 9 to Switzerland. So, with that being said, this brings us to the end of my stay in France. So, if you come to this part of this video, then please subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again same time next week. Bye! Stay vibing!